The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma. In February 2025, Georgia's annual inflation rate reached 2.4% according to a report by Geostat. The biggest contributor to price increases was a 3.7% rise in food prices. Additionally, healthcare costs and prices in the alcoholic beverages and tobacco category also increased. Statistically, this is the highest inflation rate Georgia has seen since the spring of 2023. The Ministry of Finance has published the January-February 2025 tax performance report, revealing that budget revenues amounted to 3.9 billion Georgian lari. This represents a 9.5% increase compared to the same period last year. According to the report, 3.46 billion Georgian lari was allocated to the central budget, while 437 million Georgian lari was distributed among local government budgets. The Ministry of Finance is working on implementing the Estonian model for property tax. The ministry confirmed this to BMG, but did not specify when the legislative changes will be ready. The Estonian property tax model primarily taxes land value rather than the value of buildings or other investments on the land. The proposed changes will need approval from the ruling Georgian Dream government before being reviewed and passed by the Georgian parliament. The government has increased disaster relief funding ninefold and expanded the list of municipalities eligible for support. According to Government Decree number 383 issued on February 28, the Ministry of Finance will allocate 58 million Georgian lari from the Regional Development Fund to 37 municipalities. Any unused funds must be redirected to other disaster recovery initiatives. With budgetary needs in mind, the National Bank of Georgia has revised the regulations on financial penalties for commercial banks and their administrator. The changes outlined in a decree by MBG President Natia Turnavar and published in the Legislative Herald significantly increased the upper limit for fines, previously capped at 0.1% of a bank's supervisory capital. The new maximum penalty is now set at 1%. In February 2025, Georgia's official international reserves decreased by $202 million, reaching $4.23 billion, according to the National Bank of Georgia. On an annual basis, the country's international reserves have declined by $512 million, or 11%. Galt and Taggart Securities is considering revising its 2025 economic growth forecast upward. According to the investment bank's monthly review, strong growth in January has prompted a reassessment of its baseline projection of 5% GDP growth for the year. A final decision will be made after preliminary February data is analyzed. On March 2nd, businessman Giorgi Bachiashvili has left Georgia, crossing the Armenian state border. On March 6th, the prosecutor office charged an individual who allegedly assisted Bachiashvili in crossing the border. Meanwhile, a court replaced Bachiashvili's bail conditions with pretrial detention. The prosecutor office also plans to transfer his frozen assets to the Enforcement Bureau for execution. Additionally, they have requested Interpol to issue a red notice for Bachiashvili. A $60 million investment will fund the construction of 5-star multifunctional Balneological complex under the Windham Grand brand in Borjomi. The Windham Grand Borjomi project is being developed by a New City Development and APCO in collaboration with Windham Hotels and Resorts and Ambridge Hospitality, a global leader in hotel management. The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.